I will not be on Love and Marriage Huntsville. So there's your answer today. We will not be on Love and Marriage Huntsville moving forward after this season. Yeah, so we will be living our real lives, focusing on the future. And when this season's over, when you see us in the next few episodes that are coming, and when you see us on the reunion, I will explain to you some of those reasons as well, because there's a lot of stuff you guys don't get to see behind the scenes that happens. There's a lot of politics involved in this business.
Carlos King is right in the middle of a growing storm around the cast of Love and Marriage Huntsville. What's happening isn't just about a few small disagreements. This situation has turned into something much bigger. The tension among the cast has been building for a while, and now it's finally reaching a boiling point. Cast members are openly speaking up, saying there's favoritism, messy editing, and problems that Carlos seems to ignore.
The same energy that you gave Marcel, why are you not having that same emotions when it comes to my daughter? It's not like the first time that she talked about the children.
Things really hit the fan during the most recent reunion episode. What was supposed to be a moment for reflection, and maybe even resolution, ended up exploding with emotion. Viewers were stunned, and some of the cast looked completely blindsided. But before we dive into the chaos of the reunion, it's important to look back and understand how things even got to this point. For some time now,
A lot of people that want to keep it above. We're going to keep it above.
Okay.
My office used to be above Credit One.
I thought you were a
and there
nurse.
no parties. However,
Do you need the office as a
you,
nurse?
Sadaric,
Where's Martha
Marcel,
laughing?
they would hang out. Part of the reason even they wanted Black was they wanted a place where they could go and hang out. And do what? Listen
Carlos.
to music, drink, play
So,
cards.
Kimmy, I'm going to say this to you.
Go,
I'm
Carlos.
a gay man.
Ciao.
I can assure you, no man is hanging out after hours listening to Beyonce Renaissance.
No, I don't think they were.
both fans and cast members have been whispering about favoritism on the show. People started to notice that certain cast members seemed to get more screen time or more positive storylines than others. And when the cast themselves began to call this out, things got even messier. They claimed that some of their personal stories were being cut short or twisted in editing, while others were shown in full, in ways that painted them in a better light. A big part of the drama centered around Melody and Martel's rocky divorce. Their storyline was front and center for several seasons, pulling in a lot of viewer attention. But other cast members started to feel like their personal struggles were being brushed aside, or worse, edited in a way that made them look bad. Some even said that their private lives
I needed someone to validate the truth because it was her word against mine. So, and that's why she got away with it all these years because it was just, it was between me and her. So nobody knew who was telling the truth, and that's why it was so frustrating to me. And I didn't even think to ask you, Carlos. I didn't even think like I should have. But I knew Andy Cohen called me, and I guess he didn't want to get involved or whatever, which I understand because he was the one that called me to tell me that they were coming on the show. My sister, and my cousin. So, but I remember I remember season 2, you kept telling me, you're like, your sister-in-law keeps DMing me. And I was like, right? Or was it Facebook or DM that she kept contacting you? All right, so Facebook, because this is Facebook time. And you're like, she keeps contacting me. And I was like, why is she contacting you? That's so weird.
were being exaggerated or misrepresented, just to stir up more drama for the cameras. What really made things worse was when people started accusing the show of selective editing. Basically, scenes were being taken out of context or chopped up in ways that changed their meaning. This made some cast members feel like they were being unfairly portrayed. Instead of being shown as real people with layered lives, they felt reduced to characters in a drama series. Carlos King, the show's executive producer, didn't help matters much. He's been accused of getting too involved in the cast's personal relationships. At times, he's tried to act like a friend or mediator, stepping in during arguments or emotional moments. But critics say he's also stirred the pot, making situations worse instead of better. Carlos has said that he tries to balance being a producer and being supportive of the cast. But it's starting to look like those lines are getting blurry. Some of his comments about who is good for TV rubbed people the wrong way, especially when cast members felt like their real pain was being used for entertainment. Behind the scenes, the tension was already simmering, especially between Letitia, Melody, and Martel. Carlos's approach to dealing with conflict, or not dealing with it, made the situation even more complicated. According to some people close to the show, Carlos would bring up major issues during reunions or interviews, but then not follow through when the camera stopped rolling. That left a lot of people feeling unsupported and emotionally drained. Some cast members even started thinking about leaving the show altogether. But then came the reunion and everything exploded. All the cracks that had been forming behind the scenes were suddenly on full display for everyone to see. One cast member even confronted Carlos directly, calling him out for playing favorites and making editing choices that hurt some while protecting others. This wasn't just a vague complaint, they named names. And fans at home were shocked to see it unfold live on TV. Instead of de-escalating the situation, Carlos's responses seemed to only make people angrier. He defended his editing by saying that the show needed to tell a good story, but some cast members felt like he was brushing off their feelings. Things got especially intense when the reunion brought up deeply personal topics. Some conversations crossed the line from reality TV into real life, touching on family drama, loyalty issues, and infidelity. In one heartbreaking moment, a cast member started crying while explaining how being on the show had hurt their family. Carlos looked stunned and tried to comfort them, but by then, the damage had been done. Viewers could feel how uncomfortable the entire situation had become. The reunion wasn't just a recap of old arguments, it felt like a breaking point. For the first time, it seemed like the cast was united in their frustration. And some even hinted that they were done with the show entirely. But the drama didn't stop when the cameras shut off. Things spilled over onto social media, and fans noticed right away. A few cast members unfollowed Carlos King, which sparked even more speculation. In today's world, unfollowing someone on social media is basically the equivalent of saying, "I'm done with you." It's rarely about something small, it usually means there's a deeper problem. Then the rumors really started to fly. Leaked messages and behind-the-scenes gossip pointed to broken promises, shady behavior, and more drama off-camera than anyone had realized. One cast member even spoke out, saying they had been trying for years to prove the truth, but had no one to back them up. They mentioned that they didn't even think to ask Carlos for help, because they felt he wouldn't take their side. That's a clear sign of how much trust had been lost. There was also talk of Carlos being contacted by cast members' relatives, like one situation where someone's sister-in-law kept messaging him on Facebook. These strange interactions only added fuel to the fire. It made people question how much Carlos really knew about the behind-the-scenes issues, and whether he was ignoring them or playing both sides. In the end, all of this drama both on screen and off left viewers wondering if Love and Marriage, Huntsville can continue the way it's been. With trust broken, cast members at odds, and Carlos at the center of it all, the future of the show is uncertain. What started as a show about relationships and growth has turned into something far more chaotic and raw. Whether or not the show survives will depend on whether these wounds can be healed, and whether the people behind the scenes are willing to make real changes. Drama behind the scenes. What's really going on with Love and Marriage, Huntsville? Lately, things have gotten messy behind the scenes of Love and Marriage, Huntsville, and it's not just the on-screen drama that's making headlines. Some of the cast members have spoken out or dropped hints about feeling completely blindsided by what's happening with the show. A lot of them feel let down by Carlos King and the production team. According to several sources, there were whispers going around that storylines were being exaggerated or completely made up, all to boost the ratings. The worst part? The cast wasn't always told about it. Some of the people on the show said they had little to no control over how their lives were being shown to the public. They thought they'd be involved in telling their own stories, but instead it seemed like everything was being shaped around whatever would get the most views. Even more shocking were claims that certain cast members were getting special treatment. While some people were allowed to approve how their final edits looked, others weren't even told what footage would be aired. That kind of favoritism caused a serious divide among the cast. All of this tension spilled over onto social media. Cast members started unfollowing each other, fans picked up on the cold vibes, and the whole thing gave the impression that not only was the cast falling apart, but the production team was losing control of the situation. It didn't help that Carlos King, the show's creator and executive producer, was at the center of a lot of this drama. Some people behind the scenes claimed that Carlos had promised them things like spin-offs, more screen time, or jobs working behind the scenes, but never followed through. When those promises went unfulfilled, a lot of cast members felt used and misled. When people started leaving the show, it was a big deal. Fans were shocked, even though there had been plenty of hints online that something was going on. Every person who left had their own reasons. Suchi and Bill's wife, Aya, were two of the first to walk away. According to people close to them, they were really upset about how their personal lives were shown on the show. They felt like the truth was being twisted, and the focus was more on stirring up drama than sharing real experiences. Stormy's exit was another huge surprise. She had become one of the show's breakout stars because of her bold personality and her ability to keep things interesting. But insiders say she felt boxed in by the format of the show. She wanted to share more about her business life and personal development, but the show rarely gave her a chance to do that. Instead, the spotlight was always on the conflicts, not her growth. For a lot of the cast, the biggest problem was the lack of creative freedom. When they signed on, they expected a mix of entertainment and realness. But as time went on, it became more about creating over-the-top drama than telling genuine stories. Many of them started to feel like their real lives were being pushed aside in favor of fake conflict, and they weren't okay with that. Adding fuel to the fire were the ongoing issues with Carlos himself. Some cast members said that he wasn't just producing the show, he was inserting himself into the drama. That made things even worse. It seemed like he cared more about getting dramatic moments for TV than about the people whose lives were being affected. And that left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. What made it even more shocking is that all of these problems seem to point back to Carlos. He's been a big name in reality TV for a while, especially after his work on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. But even back then, there were rumors about favoritism and him interfering with storylines. Now, with Love and Marriage Huntsville, it feels like history is repeating itself. Critics say that even though Carlos's approach might get views, it's damaging the relationship he has with his cast. He's being called out for creating chaos behind the scenes and then walking away like he had nothing to do with it. And while he might be getting a lot of praise in public for making the show successful, the cast feels like they're being ignored or disrespected. That's created a lot of frustration. The cast believes that the real heart of the show comes from their actual struggles and relationships, not just the explosive moments. But they don't feel like they're getting credit for the emotional labor they put in. Instead, they think Carlos is using their lives to build his brand while leaving them behind. Now, with key people gone, fans are wondering if the show can even survive. Love and Marriage, Huntsville built its audience by showing real-life relationships and complicated dynamics. But now that some of the original cast members are gone like Stormy, Suchi, and Aya, will the show still be able to hold viewers' interest? There are already rumors that more people might be thinking about leaving. And if that happens, the show could lose its core. Sure, they could bring in new faces, but there's no guarantee that the audience will connect with them the same way. The original cast has been around for years, and many fans feel personally invested in their journeys. Replacing them won't be easy. Behind the scenes, the tension is also affecting the future of the show. If Carlos doesn't deal with the criticism head-on, potential new cast members might not want to work with him. That could make it hard to keep the show fresh and relevant. On the flip side, some people think Carlos might go even harder with the drama just to keep viewers watching. One fan even commented, "Carlos is just doing what he always does, but if the show doesn't change soon, he might be the only one left." Another said, "The cast just wants to be treated fairly, but I don't think that's Carlos's priority." So now the big question is, can Carlos fix the damage that's been done? Can Love and Marriage, Huntsville continue without its key cast members? Or has too much trust been broken? We want to hear what you think. Do you believe the show can bounce back, or is it time for a fresh start? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the latest updates on this unfolding drama.